On April 12, the Standing Budget Committee of Parliament organized a discussion regarding budget reform on collaboration with the UNDP project of supporting employment reform through budget planning in line with Sustainable Development Goals in Mongolia. A group of 32 members of the parliament believe that it is imperative to ensure transparency of the budget, make budget-related information accessible to the public, promote public participation and control, and enforce the law on budget and budget stability. They have initiated a project and submitted it to the Speaker of Parliament, and the discussion is unique as it is being held with the draft law is under discussion. The budget law is approved once a year, but in the last 10 years it has been approved 23 times for various reasons. Additionally, medium-term fiscal framework statements or key policy documents were adopted 32 times. Moreover, since the implementation of the law on budget stability, the law has been amended 13 times. This clearly indicates that budget policy planning is unstable, lacks realistic calculations, discipline and public control. Therefore, we need to implement budget reforms effectively and without delay. Tufshin Dux, the director of the Economic Research Institute, participated in the discussion and delivered a speech on the topic of effect of fiscal expansion policy, implementation of the fiscal stability law over the last 10 years. He highlighted that 10 years have passed since the implementation of the law on budget stability, but fiscal discipline and law enforcement have been inadequate. He pointed out the economy has become overly dependent on mining, leading to symptoms of Dutch disease, where a large influx of foreign cash to exploit a newfound resource causes unforeseen problems to an economy. The results of this study were presented on what the results would be if the excessive wasteful budget policy had not been implemented. According to the results of the survey, a total budget expenditure will not exceed the upper limit, the share of budget expenditure in GDP will decrease, the budget deficit will not exceed the upper limit or 2% of GDP starting from 2018, the government debt will decrease faster, and it will fall within the 60% limit starting from 2018. It was clarified that it was possible to have positive indicators. Subsequently, Sukhtilgir, general consultant of the project supporting employment reform through budget planning aligned with the SDGs implemented by the UNDP, delivered a speech on the topic introduction of results-based budgeting. Prior to the speech, Sukhtilgir emphasized that Mongolia's economy is overly dependent on mining and export products, has limited diversification, and is thereby fragile and unstable, which is the main reason for social and economic inaccessibility and equality. Next, the initiators of the law presented the draft law on resolution on budget reform, which will be carried out based on 4 main policies: policy to ensure fiscal stability, policy to improve budget planning, transparency and openness, policy to enhance budget discipline and control, and policy on foreign loans, aid and debt limitation. Jargma, a member of the parliament, presented her contribution on the topic of budget stability. Sandagocher, a member of the parliament, presented a contribution on the topic of budget planning and transparency, while Puruvdorch, another member of the parliament, presented the topic of fiscal discipline and control. The discussion proceeded with a questions and answers session among the participants.